Hello, I'm going to talk about the origins of the people and languages of the United Kingdom. There is evidence of modern humans living in Britain about 40,000 years ago, but continuously since about 6,000 years ago. We don't know much about ancient Britons, but we know that they built Stonehenge, which we think had a religious meaning. You can see a picture of Stonehenge here in the top left-hand corner. About 3,000 years ago, the Celts came from Central Europe. Their languages spread across the British Isles. Celtic languages such as Welsh and Irish are still spoken today. You can see a picture of a Celtic cross in the middle at the top here as an example of Celtic design. Wales, Scotland and Ireland are still called Celtic countries. Very proud of their separate identities from England. In the year 43 CE, the Romans invaded. For the next 300 years, most of the island was a peaceful Roman colony. The Romans founded many cities, which still exist today, including London. However, as the map shows, the Romans did not control northern Britain. This is one way how Scotland's history is different to the rest of Britain. The Romans built Hadrian's Wall to protect themselves from attacks from the north. You can still see parts of the wall today. In 410, the Roman Empire suddenly weakened and the Romans left Britain. The island was now undefended. Tens of thousands of people came over from northern Europe in the 5th and 6th centuries. There were three groups called Angles, Saxons and Jutes, but we generally call them Anglo-Saxons. They came because the land in Britain was good for farming. This map here shows how they took control of most of what is now England. However, they could not control Western Britain. This is partly how Wales became a different place to England. In particular, many people speak Welsh, which is an official language alongside English. The Anglo-Saxons brought their culture and Germanic language with them. Anglo-Saxon became Old English. Thus, English is considered to be part of the German family of languages, along with German, Dutch, Swedish and other Scandinavian languages. You can see an Anglo-Saxon helmet in this picture here. In 1066, England was invaded by people from France called Normans. The Norman leader, William, became king. They introduced a lot of French vocabulary into English and built many castles and great cathedrals around Britain. You can see here a Chichester castle, mostly finished in the year 1127. Over the next few hundred years, small groups of people came to escape problems in Europe. For example, French refugees escaping religious persecution in the 15th century, or over 100,000 Jews in the 1890s escaping persecution in Russia. You can see a photo of these Russian refugees on the left here. Many people also moved from Ireland to the UK. Many British people have Irish parents or grandparents. And of course, many people came from the British Empire and Commonwealth, in particular after the Second World War. Many British working men died in the war and there was a labour shortage. People were invited from colonies to emigrate to the UK to work. Many also came from India and Pakistan, and many Ugandan Asians came when they were expelled from Uganda in 1972. These people experienced much racism, particularly from the 1950s to the 1970s. However, they have had a big impact on British culture. For example, Jamaicans brought reggae and ska music. You can see a picture of the reggae band Aswad here. People say now that Indian-style curry is, along with roast beef and fish and chips, a British national dish. Because of Muslim immigration from Commonwealth countries like Pakistan and Bangladesh, there are now many mosques alongside the churches and synagogues of Britain. The children of these immigrants are now making British life. In 2016, Sadiq Khan, the Muslim son of a Pakistani bus driver, became the new mayor of London, one of the most powerful politicians in the country. The graph on the right shows the ethnic mix of the UK. Immigration continues today. The most recent group to move to the UK in large numbers are European Union citizens, notably from Poland. Here is a picture of a Polish food shop in Britain. Polish is now the third most spoken native language in Britain. Welsh is second. However, following the vote to leave the EU in June 2016, Brexit, it is unclear what will happen to the 3 million EU citizens living in the UK, and whether they will continue to live and work in the UK in such large numbers. Thank you for listening.